Today we are on the magic number of number 14. I call it the magic number, and not many people would term the number 14 as being magic, but it is because adding together, of course, it equals 5, and that's the number of Christ, you could say, or that's the number of home for home or house or key. Most of all, importantly, if you don't have your key, you can get locked in or out. And it's also the number for lock. So lock and key. And most importantly, it's the number for Eve, number 5. So Eve is 5. So ignite. United souls, here we are on this beautiful, I'm hoping, had a good day, whatever it is that you've done. I hope that this meets you well and serves you well too. So welcome on the Earth Ship. I am Crime Queen, your partner in crime. Why is it a crime? Or you may be thinking, what crime are we about to commit? Of course, we are about to commit the crime of breaking the law of silence. Of course, with a cup of tea. Where's my copper cup? Oh, anyway, a copper is a copper. Okay, so there we are going to commence our daily vibrations, but this is for the purpose of getting in tune with the numbers, learning the numerical vibrations, and getting to understand, the resources that are available to us on this new creation. You know, it's a new creation. I hope you do know this. So if you don't, that means you are new to this channel. Okay, and not only that, I mean, we have been indoctrinated, we have been, conditioned to think in certain ways, but it has been two creations all along, all along. It's two creations, and that is in reference to the Holy Bible as well. Okay, so that also means that if we were created in God's image and likeness, that we are always forever creating in twos, always what we can see or focus on, and there is the absence of what we can't see and focus on. I have referenced the sacrifice template on the latest videos. I hope most of them do have that. If you're new to this channel, you will understand how we derived at the sacrifice template. Let's pull this a little bit closer. Right. And so you will get to see why this is around the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. But most importantly, this message is really about teaching us. It's to teach us about ourselves. And we tend to think it's about just teaching us to look up. I mean, if you don't have down, you can't have up. If you don't have left, you don't have right, and vice versa. So, but it's about showing us through the story of Jesus Christ, if you like, the whole story where he is named Jesus, or they called him Jesus. And of course, you don't see him referenced as Christ, not until it is referenced in the genealogy of generations of kingdoms of in Matthew, the book of Matthew in the New Testament. So that is when, of course, he has taken on the sacrificial cloak, if you like, and he has owned it. It's the about know thyself. And so, of course, he was always asking his followers as well, who do you think the Christ is, and who do you say the Christ is, and so on. But even with all of that, it's to understand that it is not just the one person. I don't remember the answer right now given by one of the disciples, whether it was John or Matthew, whichever. But this is about you are also the Jesus, and your purpose is to work out the Christ within you and to understand Christ. Anyway, do go on. Well, that's why I found my voice, if you like. So yes, I'm using it. So anyway, speaking of voice, we are it's like the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Have God said that you should not eat of the fruit? Have God said thou shalt not eat of the fruit? People, the whole book is a book of wisdom. And if you look at half, when have God said, it's still like H, like T, sorry, HATH. Have God said, or half God said, it's the same when it comes to the spirit of sound mind. So that means God has half himself, and there is half in you and the half elsewhere. All is of half of 8, forming the symbol of infinity. So in other words, like in headquarters zone, I call this. So this would be God, which is half, and half God said. Basically, that's it. So it's letting you know there's another half God, which you're going to make a decision whether you go with this one or you don't go. It's like letting you know the two polarities of your existence. Yes, I could feel myself wanting to come up for air on that one. Okay, so we are doing daily vibrations, and this we are going to do here. Of course, as we have said, this is the sacrifice template. I'll just go over this. This is jazz, the 1, 2, 3, jazz, bucket, luck, development, new, folks, gypsy journey, headquarters zone, and inland revenue. Now, you may wonder what's all this inland revenue, jazz, and bucket, and all of these. All of them actually are in reference to the sacrifice, believe it or not. So, in that case, you want to know more, click on that description link, a link in the description about how we got into this. And I think it would be called Numerology and Spirituality for Beginners. But the link is there. Okay. And you'll get all the juiciness, all the deliciousness about this. So, it's going to be Friday, of course. Friday, Friday, Friday. Or is it the 14th? I was going to think Friday the 13th. Friday the 14th, 141, and it's 2022. We had to squeeze that other 2 in because that's what twos do anyway. They squeeze up together, don't they? Why not? That's why there's a scripture verse that says something like, well, at least if two gets two is better than one, because if two gets together, at least one can keep the other warm. Right. Okay. So I think that's the gods making their presence felt or reminding me. It's like saying, remember to mention us, remember to acknowledge our existence within you. Okay. So let's try and get something sorted here. All right. So we are going to do Friday first, which is 6994117. Okay, and this is it's better like this. So this is 22, 23, 30, 36. So 3 plus 6 is 9. So Friday is really like so some people say, oh, it's completion. Like you could say, well, it's the end of the working week, but it's also the beginning of the weekend, the beginning of pleasure, the beginning of relaxation, the beginning of rest. So we can see where this is what I mean about number 9 is beginning. And it's like, of course, it's just birthing newness. It's a demarcation of ending where beginning meets or end. The two, they're very intertwined. they come as the law of polarities or law of correspondence, but nothing happens without them. Nothing happens without them. So number 9, of course, is the end, or you could say the beginning of that demarcation, or the gift rather, of the language of numbers. This is like numbers 1 to 9. Of course, it's like you could say 1 has all everything in it, or 9 has all the numbers in it. Because what we have not really taken in much into consideration, well, it's just the image come to mind now as well. So 1 could be like 1, 2, 3, 4 to 9 here, but we have been conditioned to count this way, going towards the right. Don't we ever have to go this way at all? So this is what it is about, full circle. Because going full circle is about going, you think you're always going to the right, but of course you're doing a U-turn and beeline, all kinds of, motion to end up and completing the circle or the cycle. Okay, so um so we have got that Friday. Friday consists of 6 days. Again, you could say that it's the 6 days of creation, and which coincides again with days of creation, and Jesus Christ died on the 29:34. So this is 7, and this is 12, and 12, 24, 25. So this is also 7. So this is what I am saying, people. We take it for granted, or we don't give much thought into it, and you may actually say, oh, it's a coincidence that it is like this. I don't think his real name was just like Pope Francis. It's all the vibration has to match, just like we had also, which is about the same time, wasn't it? Where you speak of Biden and Trump. Trump and Biden. So basically, all of these two creations here, the days of creation and days of rest, all of these take on the different outfits in our existence. They take on the same, it's the same essence, but it has different levels of vibrations or frequency, or for what it is being to be served with. I don't know, to be served with, but it's for instance, in the spiritual realm, you could say, okay, we had this is the thing about the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. Or, well, as I say, the two serpents. The serpent was the wisest of all creatures. We are told that. Now, of course, and by that we are asked to seek wisdom, and of course, wisdom equals 11. So if you check out yesterday's presentation, 1 1, that is 11. 1 actually equals 7, and another 1 equals 7. So you can see how the two creations come together actually equals 14, and 1 plus 4 is 5. This constitute 5, as I mean Eve. Eve is 14. And we see Adam actually has Adam, AD, Adman, really, but it's like Adman, but they say Adam, Adman. It's like going back and front, yeah, something to that. Okay, all right. So it's Adam, yeah. So it's 4141. So you can see the pattern here. So what I'm saying is that we kind of like a pattern, like I said, the pattern is like copies of the pattern is happening right here. The AM, and this is the AM that Moses met with on Mount Sinai. Say that I am that. I am that. The AM is here. The ad man. Okay. More or less saying I am as well. Okay. Because I am is 5. And of course, I am that I am, right? So we can see the example here with Pope Francis. We also have, I'll just show you the correlations here where 14 is happening here. Then we also have, even about the same time, all of those happenings and all the popularities. That means we are in this new creation. For this new creation, we also have our Prime Minister. In fact, I think the word prime minister, I don't want to get too far into this, so I may do this another time. But we have Boris Johnson, Johnsson. And so we have, I've done this as well. You'd find Boris Johnson on here showing how 14 is coming up in our new creation as beginning and end. So we have our Prime Minister, which is 26991. What's happened to, these things? Okay, so it's 1685165. Okay, so this is 12, this is 17, this is 25, 32. So 32 as Christ. Johnson is the Christ. So it's in context. That's the word I was looking for. So you get copies of the same pattern, and it depends on the context. It's like you get a fake something. Okay. I don't mean. Okay. So we have here, this is 25, 26, 27. So 2 plus 7 is 9. And so, of course, this is 5. And this is how we have our Boris Johnson coming together to form the 14. And this is the new creation, again, beginning and end. So for this new creation in this era, it is not by chance that we have a prime minister whose total name actually, Alexander, I made a note of it, Alexander Boris D. Fefel Johnson. So two is free, so Alexander. And so something just caught my attention. So the names that are dropped that we don't really hear of unless you check Wikipedia or the internet. So it's Alexander, which equals free, and D Fefel, D, and it's Pfeffel. I think that's correct. And we have this as 2. So let's just do this. 5, 3. Wow, I'm doing it back to front because I'm looking. 5, 3, 6, 6, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this is 3 6 18, 18 here, and it's 12, and 17, 20. So this is 38, which is 2. Okay. And then we have DE, which is 9. So that's 11. So we can see from here that this is interesting, that DFFL, which is, did I have this correct? And Alexander, yeah, so 3. So this is 11 plus 3 equals 14. So this isn't this interesting that would be left behind, like the key, like the seed. I think so. So because 5 is number of change, Okay. So going by what we've seen so far, you see that the Prime Minister has and does possess the lock and key, and for 14 days quarantine, thus marking beginning and ending, or ending and beginning of new creation. And so basically all this coming together would be twin would have the numerical value of 10. So he in that sense has the perfect seed for that creation, or and that means everything is going to arise from this. Everything, people, when you have the seed of polarities as number 10, it's not just like someone think, oh well, yes, it is very good, particularly for a man to have this number 10. It shows there's a level of being intuitive. Okay, so but also especially with number 2 coming up on number 11, so that's really good, but that is showing he has the opportunity to do his masters, or he is doing his masters. How he does it, that's another story, but that's what we all have to do, our masters. And so that is what number 14 is about. We had this number 14 showed with Biden and Trump. It's the same, came like 7-7, and there's a lot of that going about. You see it in the shops, whether you see it as 159 or 1 whatever it is, or 47, you are going to see 1 1, the 1 1, whatever comes like 11, because 11 is actually the seed of all this coming up, the two serpents, okay, or 14. And so, okay, and let's just add all these numerical values here so we get that. So we know that this is 9, 14 is 5, 1 plus 1, and then plus 6. So we have this as 12. And so that's the dates being 12 coincides with, I feel that it is just so remarkable. I know we are working with just like coming into like 9 numbers, you could, because it's numerology 1 to 9, but it just feels like for the past well, for the 2 weeks, which is actually, so today is actually the mark of the two serpents, the 14 gods, the 14 verbatim gods. Yes. Okay. So it's, you probably have had some I have had the challenges basically from the 12th, or I should say from the 11th, but I have had profound challenges on the 12th, which is the number of saying time to create, let there be light. There was me actually doing my ritual. I want to see some light in this, let there be light. And what I do when I open my curtains in the morning, I say let there be light in the areas of my life that is needing light for what I need to do, be, or have. So and then we had, of course, the 13th. I know that there requires a degree of depth, and it means that whatever is happening that seems dark, has its importance that it happens so I can become, the person that I am meant to do, be, or have on another level. It cannot happen without the darkness. It's like, hence, like I was saying, everything we do, it's like a copy of the template. Hence, we put on clothes, if you like. We put our clothes on. There's a time we wear that clothes, or we wear it out, and there's a time we think, oh, more, I can't get anywhere from that anymore. It could be your shoes or your clothes or whatever it is, something for protection. But it's like there's a time you have to let go and say, okay, I've got to let that go. It's face your vulnerability in saying, well, I've got to do without this, or now I've got to, you are exposed to another reality, and so you have to make the decision and act on that. Now, I'm not sure whether clothes is, I have been thinking of clothes a lot, but and so that came, but I'm hoping you get the essence of what I'm saying here. So there we are, again, people, there we are saying that 12 is actually so profound, because as we can see, the magnitude of 12, the 12 disciples, the 12 hours of the day, the 12 hours of the night, the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 months of the year, the 12 whatever, thinking of 10 Yeah. Oh, I was trying to find out the yes the correlation with 10 and 12 because I know they are very connected. But what it is that, as I say, you only can see the full significance of this. This is why we give them the letters, and that's why letters are always in an envelope, because there it's to hide something, and that's what happens with the letters. So when you do 10, for instance, it is by that clothing that you can only see what it births. So 10 actually births 12, and of course 12 is 3. Can we see that? And so, as long as they're clothed, you can always see or always be allowed to lift its skirt and see what's there, or let it birth whatever it is. So 12 is free. But then we do the numerical value for 3, THREE. This gives us 29. 2 plus 9 is 11. And that's how you see what 10 actually really births. So, two creations. Again, that's what 10 is about. The seed. It's like they come out like the 10, as in 1 knot. It's showing you right here that there was like, the 10 conceived and they bore twins. You can see the result is also repeated when we do the calculations as 1 ONE equals 7 and 2, the 2WO equals 4. Adding this together, 11. Or Jacob and Esau, all twins, or Moses and what's his brother, the one who was speaking on his behalf. So they're always twins, always, in twos. So we see that magnitude here. So what we are going to do to get the overall value on this is now say, okay, we add 3, the overall number here, 3 plus 9, 12. So 3 is really that dynamic number that encapsulates all of this right here. Can we see, people? Can we see? So just not to get too confused. So we add, here we had 3 and add 9. It still comes to the same 12 equals 3. So we know that 3 is actually so creative. It can pretend to be asleep. It is the double dome. It is E. It is free, and it is W. So that is the 8-petal flower, which is really your north, south, east, west. All of this. And of course, that is all the emblem. That is the exact emblem, because Adam and Eve, they ate. They eat or ate. ATE. And of course, again, it's about the 8-petal flower, because what Adam had is W. You have your W. It's all about that. The word eat, or T. Didn't know I had a bit of coffee left. Okay, I think I'm just hooked on coffee now. Well, not hooked, because I work at nights and there's no explanation. I didn't drink coffee for a long time, and now I'm just back on coffee. That's it. So here we are saying that overall we see that we have 3. So just to put things in perspective, this calculation or vibration that we have connected for the 14 days, people, that falls in direct correlation to the creation of where we are, where we make our reference from Genesis of chapter 1 verse 3, where we have the first spell of the gods, of the 14 gods, which is the said God. Of course, the said God equals 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So this is the said God that actually speaks out and said, let there be light. And there was light. So here we have in Genesis chapter 1 verse 3, the first word actually is of 3 letters, which is let, and which is let, L-E-T. The first letter is actually of a value of 3. So if that is not telling us, people, the other thing is the let there be light actually equals 12. And there was light, another 12. So that tells us about the 2 creations happening right there. Let there be light, and there was light. Let there be light, and there was light. Let there be light, and basically what is there is also here. There is nothing that is there that is not referenced here, because there, THERE, cannot exist without her, or without he, or without her, or without a, as in time frame. And so all of creation was referenced right there. So basically, all that seed of number 10 that we've had as in showing as the seed of masculine, feminine, all of those was right there. So how we have Friday now, and of course which is 9, which births, and it's saying okay, we are birthing everything, newness of 6 letters right there. And so we have 5 as in Mother Eve showing there, and of course the first month of the year, meaning like the first mouth of the year, with of course the year being 222, which is 6, is saying all of creation right there. We are in this new creation, people. And so I have lots on number 14, and lots I could say on number 14 that represents the 2 creation. But what I want to say to you, and I didn't go much into it right now, is that it's about the tea. It's about they ate of the fruit, or the woman ate and the man ate, and the 2 eights came together, because 8 or eat equals 8, and they came together to form 1. Of course, that is 16. 1 plus 6 is 7, and that's the 7th day of creation. All of creation happened. So we can celebrate today as like you have done your 14-day quarantine, and then we are now ready to celebrate, like people are ready to have their tea, their beer, whatever it is. And so I hope you have enjoyed this, because we are just capturing the essence of the day's vibration, making references to the numbers. As you will see, as we go on, you will be getting more of those deliciousness, and of course breaking the law of silence. So let me know how you see or how you perceive this presentation or the content. If you like this, please leave your comments, like and subscribe. And if you like even just a little bit of this, just give us a thumbs up, because that's encouraging as we are on the earth shape, and stay ignited.